By the way, that is so fire. Where did you get that from? Did you? But when you get the phone, okay. Off air. Oh, so we're on air now. Okay. Yes. So we're here.
Yes.
Episode 2.
Yes.
Of the Ensemble.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Let's stop that real quick. Girl, I can't.
What I do? This is unscripted, unfiltered.
I'm about to rewrite our
The funny thing is, I was thinking about things to say when I was posting about it, and I had like unfiltered in there.
Yes.
I had unscripted, like, because we free ball. There's no structure. We just go with how we feel.
Yes.
I had a few different things in there, but yeah. At the end of the day, you can only be yourself, right? If you do too much of that, you'll lose yourself. So now I'm at a place where I'm like, I can only be me, and those who fuck with me are going to come along.
Yep.
I can't live my life pleasing everyone.
No, not at
all. Those
all.
that's meant to come and that are going to come, and those are the ones that are going to ride with me.
Yep.
Regardless. Those are the kind of, that's the kind of support that I need. Those are the kind of fans that I need.
That's what you want. And you know, the thing is, when I met you, you didn't look like anyone.
Oh.
Like, you were, like, so different.
Thank you.
Your hair, to your smile, to your outfits. And I was like, wait a minute now.
Thank you.
This is what an artist should be, should look like. And so
I appreciate that, because I have a lot of people like, well, no one could rock this hair but you. But I'd be like, I see a ton of people that's killing that shit. You know, but it's still, you know, when people say this to me, thank you, because I was like, I feel like I'm even louder. When people say this to me, I don't take it lightly, and I just be like, thank you. You know, no matter if I see it in other people, the fact is the matter is that they see this in me. So, and I'm not trying to take that away from nobody that sees some amazingness in me. So I'm grateful for that. So thanks everyone that has ever looked at me and been like, she bomb.
when we did our pictures together, and I was just showing people some of the stuff that I've been working on lately. And, you know, I told you, like working with you has been, like, it's feel like, you know, you do something for a while, you know, and then it's like, what's going to trigger you to be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm doing this? You know, I've worked with some amazing people throughout my career, but just a breath of fresh air with you, and then I was just so excited, and I was just like, you know what? I think I've reached another level working with you, because they see your photos, and it's like, who is this? Her hair, her smile, her glow, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, everything I said, everything you
felt and said, like, people that day, are.
The same reaction. Okay. It's not nothing different.
Right.
It's always about how you look, and just the energy that exudes from the photos is the same way I felt when we were shooting them. I'm like, you know what? This is special.
And I always say it's not a gut feeling, that's a God feeling.
Yes.
You know when it feels right.
Yes.
Right? And that's why I was like, let me hit him, because you had brought it up to me a couple of times.
Yeah.
And you're like, so when are we shooting? And I was like, you know what, let me let this guy know that I am serious, right?
Yeah.
And I get nervous too. I'm just like, when you're shooting with somebody new, you just don't know how the energy or the synergy is going to be.
Right.
So, and you have to mirror my energy. So I'm just like, he seemed great, you know, like, hopefully. And then I'm like so happy that I followed through with it, because it just snowballed into even more than what I even thought of.
Look,
like we're here now doing a freaking pod, because we was able to bounce off of each other, because even that night when we sat here and spoke, we was talking for hours. Like, I was like, oh my God, I gotta go home. You was like, I gotta finish something. Like,
look, I had
but
homework,
we had
and I was like, I was so engulfed into this conversation that we had when we first talked. And on top of that, I thought about, this is probably weird, but anyways, when you left, I was like, she was in my room the entire time. Like, we have a nice couch and other chairs we could sit on.
Yeah.
You were sitting on the raggiest chair, and you sat there for hours talking to me.
And I was fine, because I was comfortable, because you made me feel comfortable. And if the conversation is, if the person and the energy is right, I could be on the floor, goddammit, and feel at home. And that's what it is. You made me feel at home. You made me feel like someone that I've known for a very long time, right? So
I felt the same way.
Yeah, I think we had that.
Okay,
so
John was like, I said, you know, she's from New York and all that, but you ever talk to somebody who's like, oh my God, We've been friends before.
Right. In a former life, like we've already met each other before. and that's really a kindred spirit.
Yeah.
Right? So even when you hit me and was like, yo, let's do this thing. Are you down for this? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. I was just like, thank you. I'm like, I know this is like, was initially like your baby. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy to be on board to like bring my roots to it, and now this is like our baby, and I'm like, I'm probably more excited than you. Like, truth be told, I don't know.
Look, so I think what happened is, I did want to do the podcast for a long time, and things come up, and for me, and it's been my life. Sometimes even when I talk to some of my friends, they're like, Justin, you sit on stuff. You started. I'm not ashamed to say, like, I do start stuff, and then it doesn't work out only because I invite people, and then I kind of count on people, and sometimes I hate that about myself, because sometimes stuff ain't gonna work. You're like, let me just try anyways, But this in particular, we sat down and talked. Like, I didn't even, when we talked, it was like,
it wasn't planned.
It was not planned.
Organically,
we talked we shared. And
we didn't even come here. I didn't even come here for that.
You did not.
I forgot what I came here to pick up my pictures.
Oh yeah.
I just came here with my hard drive to pick up my pictures.
Yes.
I wasn't supposed to be here for long.
Nope.
At all. And it turned into a whole production, a whole thing.
Right.
A whole thing.
So when that happened, it sparked. Honestly, I didn't know. I was like, it sparked me wanting to do the podcast. I was like, I did have this idea, and maybe you could be my guest.
Right.
I was like, maybe be my first guest, and then maybe it can go in something else. And my ass was thinking, I'll do one show, and then maybe months from now I'll do a second show. I was doing that. I think
when I came back again, you said something. You was like, I think when you asked me what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you want me to come over? I had no idea it was for a podcast. I was just like, because we spoke about, I'm like, I want to watch some shows with him.
Yeah.
I just want to be around him.
Yeah.
Like, I just need that kind of energy. And I'm new here, and I'm just like, I want to feel good. I want to feel like I'm around the right people. That's important for me.
Yeah,
and
I
felt at home with you, right? So I'm just like, if he's asking me to hang, bitch, you going. That's it. Like, I'm not overthinking it.
So funny, though.
Yo, what I said.
I felt bad, though, actually. I honestly tell you this.
You?
I felt horrible because when I said, hey, what are you doing? And you said, well, you want me to come over? I was immediately thinking, like, yes, bitch, I want to come watch this TV show with me.
And now you're just like, no, I want you to come do
I was like, can you come over to this podcast with me?
Like, no, I'm trying to put you to work. This is not what we spoke about.
And then I felt like, dang, man, we could watch some movies and stuff, which I wanted to.
No.
But then I was like, no, I still want her to, like, honestly, okay. So you know how you talk to people. I said, I get such a good energy from you, such good vibe. I think everybody should feel this. I really do. And I felt cheesy saying that. I was like, I told John, I was like, I want to talk to her, but I don't want to talk to her on the podcast. I'm like, we can reach people, and we can touch people, we can maybe, because when she talked to me, I felt so freaking good.
Oh, thank
right?
you.
And I was like, at the same time, I want her to talk to people too.
Gotcha.
But then I want her in my space. I want you in my space.
Yeah. And that's so important for me because I have major anxiety. And people don't, I have major anxiety. So, like, you literally, you have to mirror my energy for me to feel like, not that I don't talk to people, but like sometimes, like I said, I could be drinking and then I'm able to just like whatever, but like just in general, like I have social anxiety.
Oh yes, yeah,
a lot.
I understand. Yeah, me too.
So I'm hoping that when I'm talking to you that you're like, oh, this girl is dope, But I don't know that until later when you hit me up and you're like, okay, let's do this again. I'm like, oh, okay, so he did dig you. So you don't realize even what's going on in my brain,
Yeah.
So I'm happy that when you said this, I'm like, okay, so we're on the same page. He enjoyed me just as much as I enjoyed him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that just feels good.
That feels, you know what, that really can turn your perspective around when you are hanging around with people because you don't know.
You don't know.
Like you can think you had a good time, and the other person be like, oh, this bitch all day.
Yeah, or people just be moody as fuck.
Yes.
Like, they just be different.
Okay, let me tell you something.
I'm big on consistency.
Let me tell you something on that.
Just be
I'm
like,
gonna
yo.
speak on this really honestly.
Yeah.
This is a difficult thing that I've been having trouble with since I got here into LA. So when in New York, right? I've been in the business for a long time too, right? And then I noticed that maybe I don't need to be in the forefront. However, I still like the business. I like the back end. I like doing other stuff. So what I used to do is in New York, me and John used to have, house parties, like movie nights, game nights, Halloween night, Christmas, whatever, right? Invite our friends. And the only thing is consistency for me is key. I say that because if we're hanging out and we're talking as friends and we're getting to know each other, getting to know each other is, yes, you may have a bad day, fine, or something doesn't go right today, or something does go right. Take the good and the bad. For me is, I find coming out in LA that I speak my mind and it gets me in trouble. So if I say we're talking and then you're just being rude or something like that, or you hurt my feelings, I'm not afraid to say, girl.
When this actually made me feel like this.
Yeah.
I think we should always
But
talk.
people, when you do that though, I'm sorry to cut you off, but when you do that here, or I'm just saying, when I'm getting to know these new people, they think I'm moody. And it's not the mood. I said, I always invite you over. I can be cordial. I said, if something if something bothers me, I always tell you. Hell, sometimes it may take me a day or two, but I always know, let me take myself into the situation real quick. I always contact the person. Oh, let's talk. And sometimes they be like, "Well, Justin, you really?"
No, that's important for me. I feel like we all not gonna have great days, right?
Right.
But I am real big. I'm not gonna take my frustration out on you, right? I hate when people are just in moods, and I'm like, I didn't do anything to you. I'm one of those people I may come to you so I can get it out. Then I'm not going to take it out on you, but I want to probably talk to you about it because maybe you can help me feel good again, or help me kind of get my mind together of what I'm going through.
The situation
exactly.
Sometimes.
I'm looking at you more of as an outlet. Okay, maybe you understand where I'm coming from. Opposed to, I appreciate that more than you being angry with something that has nothing to do with me and not get angry with the fucking world.
Right.
I don't like that. And I'm real big on, if there's something, please talk to me about it, because we can go over this. We can debate about it.
Yes.
And we can go sip some wine and have some tea.
Right.
We can have some unsubtle tea. Shameless plug. No shame. We can have some unsettled tea right after, because I am a very much of a conversationalist. I like to communicate. I'm really big on communication.
Oh my God.
And I pride myself on being a great listener.
Yes.
And, and I've had people be like, yo, you are like a perfect mediator. People know that I'm not biased. So I feel like, honestly, I was a counselor in my former life.
Yeah, me too. I always say that.
Oh, really?
I always say
that.
Is so, see? Okay.
This is why I was like, yo, the counselor in my former life, people just naturally gravitate and talk to me, and I'm just always able to just see different sides of the spectrum, and I don't judge anybody. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just an ain't shit person. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm still trying to figure out why you wasn't shit. That's where I go. I don't just be like, oh, he ain't shit. I'm just like, why aren't you shit?
Yes, thank you. Wait, okay, so to lead into that, honestly, I think that too, and I think that when people do something to you, they know. Just like if I'm not perfect. I might be petty sometimes, but I know I'm petty.
I know I'm stubborn as fuck.
Yeah, stubborn, and I know I do or say something to you, and if I hurt your feelings, I always apologize. But if I'm feeling away and it's petty, I don't know. I know I am. But then there's people out there but you did that. So if we're working together or we're just hanging out together and something happens and you know what happened and you don't understand why I'm upset.
I'm one of those people where I'm just like, if we hanged out a lot, then you got to know me as a person. You know my motive. You know and you know what I stand for. So if I feel like you should be able to come talk to me about anything.
Yes.
Period. Don't just out of nowhere just make up in your mind how I felt, why I did this. Nah, you should know my character. Yeah. Because I feel like I literally wear that shit on my sleeve. You know Berry. Yes. I'm not pretending to be no fucking body else. I am so transparent in who I am that I'm just I be offended when people feel the need to lie to me.
Oh,
or feel the need to. I'll be like, you could have spoke to me about absolutely anything. If nobody gets you, you should know that Berry will.
I know.
How? why are you lying? Or why are you afraid to come to me? Or why are you just like you're not coming to me so we can actually get over this? Because I'm a person that we can communicate and get over it.
Okay, so that's the point I'm trying to make
Ooh,
too.
and that's what pisses me off.
See,
that's what makes